I'm a hustler, man. I'm always get it off the muscle, man. Tryna make them hundreds, bust the rubber bands. Rain, sleet, hell or snow, I'm tryna get it in. Woo! I go door to door, stacking up them dollars like dominoes. I go door to door.
Hustlers. What's cracking? It's your boy Deshaun. Welcome back to another episode of Roof Hustlers, baby, where we tackle all your daily door-to-door objections, rejections, and we teach you guys how to make connections, man. Because if you ain't creating genuine customer connections, building better customer relationships, and providing premier customer service, then you know, like I know, guys, you ain't making a difference in your wallet or the community, baby. And that's what we do over here at Roof Hustlers, man. Help you guys go from average to good, from good to great. Always keeping food on your plate, baby. Because if you do what I do, you know it's a jungle out here. So, this week on Roof Hustlers, what I want to cover with you guys is, y'all know I fly around the country and I work with different sales teams in different states, and I see some awesome stuff all around this country. Things that you guys don't have the luxury of experiencing, right? You don't got that privilege of seeing some of the things that I see. So what I want to do for you guys today is share some 5 best practices that I've been seeing around the country with different sales teams and organizations that's been allowing their guys to thrive and hit crazy numbers for the year, right? Also, the fourth quarter is approaching. It's here. This that time of year to finish strong, guys. Keep your pipeline full so you can have a very strong December and let it roll over into the next year. So this week on Roof Hustlers, what I want to cover with y'all, 5 best practices that I've been seeing all around the country working with different sales teams. Maybe you could take some of these strategies, implement it into your sales team, and increase your numbers and your revenue. So the first best practice that I've had the luxury of seeing this year that was a game changer for me, it's a simple tweak, but this company up in the Indiana area, the Midwest area, they use this strategy, this tactic, and it has made their numbers go through the roof. And what they do that's different than most companies is they don't count the amount of contingencies, right? They don't count the amount of claims filed. What this company do is they strictly count the amount of contracts that are signed. So instead of a guy signing 100,000 and he's labeled as a top performer, what this company does is they have their guys chase anywhere between 10 to 12 contracts a month. So just because you had the most revenue, that don't make you the top sales guy. The top sales guy is the guy who actually had the most contracts that month. And recently this company just did a $2 million month. And I was talking to the owner and I say, man, what can you attest to your success? He said, outside of you coming to work with our guys, we changed their mindset. We got them chasing contracts instead of just filing claims, right? Instead of just chasing revenue, they're chasing contracts. Because a guy, y'all know like I know, a guy can close a $200,000 for the month, but he only maybe signed 4 contracts because there was big roofs. Now imagine if that guy did that 10 times. Those 4 contracts that he signed, he actually chased 10, and they was about $18,000 to $20,000 per roof. Those are going to be some crazy numbers for the month, right? So instead of chasing revenue, what they do is they chase the contracts, and it's done allowed their numbers to go through the roof. So their sales guys are very efficient. They're chasing the money and not the front end. They're chasing the back end, right? So that's the first best practice that I seen is they count the contracts signed per month versus revenue. Because like I said, you can do a lot of revenue with a little bit of jobs, right? But imagine if you're chasing 10 to 12 contracts a month, that'll blow your revenue out the water. So that's the first best practice that I've seen. They count the contracts over the contingencies. Second best practice that I've seen traveling around the country, right? I had the luxury of working with this company. They're based out of Kentucky area. And the cool thing about this company that I've seen is they've developed one of the best cultures I've ever seen. And the reason why is they run their sales team like a baseball team. And everybody that they hire is very young. They recruit everybody from the local college, right? And then they bring guys in and they start them off as canvassers. So when you're a canvasser, you're labeled as a rookie. The even cooler part, when they make your business cards, they look like baseball cards, right? So now you're a rookie. So once you hit a certain amount of, appointments set up and a certain amount of deal closed, then they move you around the wall and then you become a starter. Now, once you become a starter, what does that mean? That means you get to have a specific, closer that you work with to be efficient and make sure your deals get closed. Then you go from a starter to an MVP, right? Or you go to an all-star, something along those lines. But you slowly progress through the walls as you start to achieve more, then you go from, you get an all-star where you actually start to become the guy that actually closes the deals. And the even cooler part, once you get to a certain amount of deals closed, you get to make your own custom pair of Nikes, right? And then you get to customize your own Nikes. So they built such a young, exciting culture because everything is like a baseball team. Even when you go into the office, they got like pictures all around the wall that look like baseball cards. They got like a baseball diamond in the office. It's just one of the best cultures I've seen because they actually run their team like a baseball team. They run it like a sports organization. So the guys compete at a high level. They got great camaraderie. There's great buy-in, and they attest it all to the culture that they've created like a baseball team, right? So that's one of the second best practices that I've seen around the country. The way they built such an amazing, young, vibrant culture is because they treat their team like a baseball team. And you got to come in, you got to try out, you got to make the team, and you got to progress through the different progressions, the different stages of getting to become a salesperson. And to make it even better, they all recruit from within like the team. So each guy that gets hired, they get to go recruit more guys and they get to coach and train. So it's a forever revolving door of guys excelling, making money, and having a great time. So it's one of the second best practices that I've seen around the country over there in Kentucky, man. Y'all know who y'all are, but they run their team like a baseball team, and it's one of the coolest, one of the most vibrant, one of the most energetic things I've seen in the roofing industry. So that's the second best practice I've seen. Maybe you should start running your sales team like a sports team instead of like a business team, right? You might get a different performance out of your team. The third best practice that I've seen around the country that I thought was pretty cool, I've never seen nobody else do this, at least as far as roofing companies that I work with, but this company, they based out of the Atlanta area, right? Awesome, awesome, awesome company. They're Christian-based, they're faith-based company, right? But the cool thing about them is, this is the only company that I've met. They only count your revenue for the month based off roofs that you've built. Not contracts you've signed, not claims you filed, right? But only off the roofs that are built. And these guys are building anywhere between $250,000, $300,000, $700,000 worth of roofs every month. So the mindset that they've created for their team is go collect the money. So what does that do? It keeps the AR low, right? The accounts receivable. Because most companies I know, they got anywhere between $500,000, $1 million just floating around the city, and sales guys just focusing on, going to close more deals. But the way this company works, since they only counts the roof that get built that month, all these guys are out there actually chasing their money, hunting it down, getting it contracted, collecting checks, and it keeps the AR down, right? Which means your account receivable are low. And then for that month, if you did 200,000, 300,000, it's only based off roofs that you built. So also, that means these guys are getting paid because the money has already been collected. So it's just a different mentality. It's a different type of hustle, but these guys grind at a very high level to be the top performers for their company. And the best part about it is all the roofs that are built that are counted. And it's just a different flip when it comes to mentality. Instead of chasing contracts and roof assessments, these guys are, they're chasing the contracts, right? But only the roofs that get built get counted towards your monthly revenue. So I think that's pretty dope. It's almost equivalent to chasing the contracts. It's just one step up. But like I said, from doing this, I've noticed it keeps the AR low because guys out there collecting their money, and it's not just floating in the community like some problems that we have as roofers. So that's one of the coolest practices I've seen, is that your monthly revenue is based off the roofs that you build and not just, claims you file and things like that. So I thought that was pretty cool because it makes guys hustle at a higher level, right? So that was the third thing I seen. They count the roofs that get built, not just the contracts and contingencies. The fourth best practice that I seen up in the Northeast area, Connecticut to be specific, right, is this company that I work with, been working with them for about 4 years now consistently, and they're one of the best companies I've seen that do this, but they've really learned how to dominate their community. So every sales rep that they hire, you have to go join the BNI group. You got to go join the BNI group. That way everybody gets familiar with your face in the community. On top of that, right, They do all the fairs. They sponsor any community outreach programs. When I was up there, they just recently gave away a roof to a veteran family, right? And let's take it a step further. I seen something that they did that I haven't seen many people do. They actually sponsored a race car driver, right? So they sponsored a race car driver, they bought the trailer, they got the wraps all over the car. And that past weekend when I was up there, the race car driver actually won the race and their logo was all over the TV, right? But this company dominates the community. The community outreach is bar none. They got billboards everywhere. They got their logos everywhere. And it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen when it comes to companies and marketing and building their brand. And everything is very authentically marketed. They don't pay a marketing company to do all this on their own, right? But that's one of the fourth best practices that I've seen around the country. They dominate their community. Everybody in the community know this roofing company. Outside of them sponsoring the race car driver, right? Like I said, they do all fairs, they do all events. They got billboards everywhere. They in B&I groups. So everybody know this name just because of the brand domination and the presence that they've created in their cities. So that's a practice that I want to start encouraging everybody to do. Start joining B&I groups, start finding little league teams that you can sponsor. They sponsor numerous little league teams. They sponsor men's softball teams. They sponsor all types of things. So their logo is everywhere. So anytime a storm comes through, they're the first company on your mind, right? So that's one of the fourth best practices I've seen. Just brand community domination. Make sure your brand and logo and everybody know your name in the community. Go join you some B&I groups. Just get familiar with your community so they can get familiar with you. But that's a great practice I've seen. Go dominate your community, have your brand everywhere. And the fifth and final practice that I saw around the country that I thought was pretty dope and uniquely used was a company that I work with over in Washington. And they did something I've never seen. They took an old bank, they renovated it, and they turned the inside into a house. So their office is literally like a house, right? The cool thing about it being a house is they do something that I've not seen many roofing companies do, which is they got office women that reach out to past clients or current clients, and they encourage their clients to come into the office to file claims or to go over their insurance settlement statement breakdowns. So instead of having sales guys out in the community and they breaking down, paperwork or, go filing claims with the homeowners, they do that. But what they use the office for is to bring people in. It's such a welcoming and warm environment. They have the office women sit down with the homeowners, go over their contracts, break down the contingencies, break down the insurance settlements, and it literally keeps the buyer's remorse low. It makes it easier to collect deductibles because people are already in the office, and it takes a little bit of stress off of your sales guys. But they got one of the coolest office environments I've ever seen. The weekend I was there training, I seen at least 10 people come in and file claims or go over an insurance breakdown. I've never seen that many homeowners come into anybody's office in my 8 years of doing this. Also, there's another office over there in Atlanta. It's called the Roof Gallery, right? Shout out to my boy Roos Badan, but it's the Roof Gallery, right? And their office is one of the best ones I've ever seen. It's an experience. When you walk in, they got the little video. It looked like Walt Disney's telling you what you're about to experience, right? As you can go through the office, it's like a museum. You get to look at the origin of roofing. They got pool tests. They got all these hands-on activities that allow homeowners to actually see and feel what's actually going to happen to their property when they're getting it installed. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So those two companies have some of the best office environments that I've seen around the country. And I think most companies underutilize their office because they'd rather just be remote and have their guys out there selling. But I've learned if you got a very homey, welcoming office, you can get people to come in. It can create a different environment. It's easy to pull out referrals, and it keeps the buyer's remorse low. And you got people who can hold these homeowners accountable to make sure they pay their deductibles and keep them from doing janky business, right? So that's the fifth best practice I've seen. Just have a very welcoming, homey office, and it creates a certain type of environment that generates certain type of results, right? So those are 5 best practices that I've seen all around the country, right? Guys that they count the contracts over the contingencies, right? Guys that use sports to build their team environment and the culture and get their guys to perform. Companies that only count the roofs that get built, so they keep that AR low, so it's easy to go out there and to collect the money, because that's the only way you can get your deals counted as a sales guy, right? Or companies that got amazing community outreach. Their brand presence is well known in their community because they dominate that game. And last but not least, amazing offices. Offices that is an experience for homeowners to come in, and it's a game changer because, like I said, it drops buyer's remorse, it keeps homeowners honest, and it also frees up your sales guys to go out there and keep generating business because the office handling some of the back end stuff. So those 5 best practice, 5 unique practices that I've seen around the country that I've seen help companies succeed at a very high level and uniquely set themselves apart from the rest of the competition. I highly encourage you to implement a few of these into your business, and it probably can be a game changer for you as well. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, please leave us some comments down in the comment box. We do pay attention to those. If there's any topics you want us to cover at Roof Hustlers, send us an email, Deshaun@roofhustlers.com. If you want the Hustlers Guide to door-to-door, please shoot us an email, Deshaun@roofhustlers.com. Make sure you follow us over there on Instagram, Roof Hustlers, TikTok, Roof Hustlers, man. We always appreciate your love and support. We're going on almost 6 years of having the YouTube channel, and without you guys, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing, man. So, as always, baby, hustle hard, hustle smart, and don't be afraid to bogart. Hustlers, I'm out.